I'm going to show you a couple tricks to setting up a class notebook in OneNote. So if you have the OneNote app open, then on the left here you'll see different notebooks. Here's an S3P notebook that Kathleen shared with me. Here is a class notebook that I set up for my research group so that we can collaborate and work on some things remotely this summer. So if I click on that notebook, then it gives me the class notebook outline here. So you have something called a collaboration space, and that is a section of the notebook that you and the students can work on collaboratively. So the way I plan to use this for my research is I've set up a tab for the two different projects that we are going to try to work on, and then there are different pages that I'll insert to each tab. So right now I just have a page for the project overview, but as we hopefully collect some data later this summer, I can add a page and perhaps we decide to organize it by technique. And so I could say that this is going to be the section where we are keeping our data related to our UV-Vis experiments. And so the way I will use this is that as I go into the lab, I will plan to record my lab notes here. That way the students will know what I physically did in the lab. And then as they process data and those sorts of things, they can insert their worked up graphs further down in the notebook so we can keep a record of what we're doing. And if we want to timestamp this, we can just go to insert and date and time, and that'll also put a timestamp. So I'll probably start each entry by putting that timestamp at the beginning and then record my notes below. Again, you can create additional pages here. If I wanted to add a new section to this collaboration space, I just choose Add Section here. And you have complete freedom to rename any of these sections just by right-clicking on it, by changing the color, however you would like to organize this space. So again, collaboration space, I can record notes and the students can record notes as well. One of the things that I will likely do is to if we have a data set that we need to work up in Excel or something like that, I'll probably record that data directly into a Google spreadsheet, and then I can just provide the link. And I think I have an example of that below. So here's a link to a Google spreadsheet. I can just paste that link, and then it'll take me to the spreadsheet where I have the data recorded. Okay. You also have something called a content library, and so this is a space that all students will be able to see as well. And so you can put worksheets here, handouts, you can do syllabi. So I sort of have my research expectations document here. I have their schedule for the summer and some instructions for their final paper and presentation. So all students can see both the collaboration space and the content library. I've also used this space to put some of the general instructions we have in our lab for using a citation manager and for creating publication quality figures using the software that we use in our lab, which is called Origin. So all the students have access to the content library. If you were to use this for a course and you wanted to put, say, a lab report sheets in the content library, students will be able to copy those pages. So they could copy a specific page into their personal library, or you can actually assign it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So right now, one of my research students, Carol, the way I have this set up is for them to do some annotated bibliography of the papers we're going to read, a place for them to record any individual work they're doing as they're data processing and things like that, and then for them to keep notes during our group meeting. But let's say I want to copy this summary of research expectations to their group meeting notes so that when we go over them on the first day, they're available for the students. Well, if I go click that page and I go to class notebook, I can do what's called distribute the page. And then on the right here, it'll say, where do you want to distribute this page within the student's notebook? So again, here are the three sections that I set up in the student's notebooks. And so I can say, I want to put this in group meeting notes. and then I click distribute, and it takes a little bit of time, but what it's going to do is it's going to insert this page into group meeting notes for Carol and for Tolu, and it looks like it's done. So if I go here, now they have this page called Summary of Research Expectations. So if you're using this for a teaching lab, this would be an easy way to assign report sheets as you are moving through the lab curriculum throughout the semester. And the benefit to assigning these report sheets or whatever it is that you want for the students to have and to work on is that you can then easily access those report sheets in the Review Student Work feature. So again, in the Class Notebook tab, you can go to Review Student Work, and if you've sort of assigned a document to each of the students, you can select which section it's in, and the page to review will show up here. And then you can go through and you can grade student by student. So this would be an easy way to grade student work. So I'll go to Tolu's, which looks exactly the same. And then in terms of grading student work, you can either, if you would prefer to type, if you click your mouse anywhere, you can begin typing. So that's really easy. When I use this in Chem 43, I changed the color of the text so they knew what text was from me. But also when they see it, they'll see my initials next to any box that I've added to the document. So you can't see that now because I've created all of the content in this document, but if I had another student, then you would be able to see that. Actually, I can show you in Kathleen's document. It shows that she inserted all of these boxes with her initials. Okay, so you could do that. If you're working on a tablet, you can also use the draw feature, and you could use a pen, marker, or highlighter, and you have some different color options, but you could write directly on the document as well. So that could be an easy way to grade lab notebooks remotely. So I think that's all I wanted to show you for now. If you have other questions, please let me know. I'm going to be piloting this summer with my research group, so I'm sure there will be more features that show up for me. Yeah, I guess the final thing I should say is that if you want to make sure it's synced, you can always go back to the notebook, right click and say sync this notebook, and then that way anybody who has access to it, you can ensure that all of the things that you've done have been updated for them as well. But it does sync periodically. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know, but I'll keep it at that for now.